Good morning and welcome to We Are Soccer. This morning we're here with a good friend of mine, Aaron Byrd from Next Level Training. Before we jump in and talk to Aaron, I'd like to remind you that we're on Facebook. Go ahead and please jump into the comments, ask questions. Feel free to be part of the conversation. We'll read them out and we'll answer them, especially Aaron, who's a very special guest today, as I said. We've also got a Facebook group that you can jump into and be a part of. Funny memes, posts about anything soccer related, world soccer, Metro Detroit soccer. Jump in, have some fun. All right, Aaron. So welcome to the show. You're from Next Level Training. Please tell us about yourself a little bit and Next Level.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate the opportunity. Grew up in Michigan here, been here all my life. Been involved in soccer for a lot of years here, and just now with Next Level Training, trying to give back to the game, give back to the kids, and provide an opportunity for these kids to love the game.
Awesome. And you work with professional soccer players, youth soccer players. It doesn't matter what age, as long as they're soccer related, you're going to work with them, right?
Correct. We work with starting at about 7 years old.
Okay.
5 and 6 at our summer camps, but all of our training we start at 7 years old.
Okay.
And we've grown over the last 13 plus years to a lot of professionals and a lot of high school, a lot of college, a lot of youth. So it's been a quite the ride.
We'll get into some of the professionals you've trained. I did a little bit of snooping on your social channels, and I've got some names, so we'll talk about those shortly. But first, I want to talk about a lot of trainers in the area are affiliated with clubs or work specifically with specific youth programs. You don't do that, right? You are unaffiliated with a youth program, and you'll take anybody from any club to teach them to be a better soccer player, correct?
1,000%.
Love it.
If we worked with 1,000 kids a week, there's probably 900 of them we don't even know what club they play for. We don't ever care about the name on the front of the jersey. Anybody that walks into our door becomes part of our NLT family. We have zero affiliation with any club, nor will we ever. We want the best for all players that walk through our door. Our number one objective when a kid comes into our program is to leave it more comfortable, more confident, more passionate for wherever they go, for whatever club they go back to.
Love it. Absolutely love it. I was watching one of the trainings you did. It was about 2 weeks ago now. I dropped by one of the facilities, and I must say I was really impressed, one, with the players that were there, the level of players you had, and how you were training them. The fact that one player is a former U.S. men's national team player was there speaks volumes. And there were several other pros who I knew, and you were running the session for 6 professional soccer players. It just shows the level of what you were doing, and they were hanging on every word you were saying. You couldn't tell because you were in the middle of running your session and doing what you do, right? That's your business. But it was great to see. I'm just going to, like I said, you're probably a bit too humble to say these names, but I want to give you some names that I've kind of did a little snooping on here. So some of the professionals that you've trained: Kelly Acosta, Justin Merrim, correct? All right.
Correct.
Josh Gatt, Steve Clark. We have the current DCFC captain, Steve Carroll. You have a girl who's playing for Atletico Madrid right now, Dina Castellanos, Katrina Macario, and then 2 girls who I've seen play, and they're currently down at Orlando City, Courtney Peterson and Marissa Villano, correct?
Correct.
That's just to name a few of them. I mean, I've got another dozen here. Those are big names in American soccer.
Huge. They, I'll tell you, the number one trait that I can tell you about every one of those people you just named is they're high character people. They are passionate. They are driven. They work hard. But it's funny when you see them outside of the soccer field, they are kind, they're funny, they are willing to help any of the other players that are there. But when that training starts, they are locked in. They are purposeful with their training. They have objectives they're trying to get out of it. It's been it was funny when I started this 13 years ago. I was training 4 players total. That's it.
Wow.
Fast forward 13 years later, we have about 1,100 kids a week, and we've trained over. You talk about a list of pros there. We've had over 600 MLS, NWSL, college.
Did you say 600?
600 college, USL championship.
Wow.
Internationals, World Cup, Olympians. It's been such a crazy ride that you almost, like you talk about, it's not even humble. It's, we're so focused on the task at hand. If you go to our social media, you'll see very, 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 very few of any of those people. You wouldn't even know they trained here.
I had to dig pretty deep for them, I'll be honest, but but I found them, and I have some contacts as well who let me know. But yes, you guys don't exactly put it out there who you're training, which is very good. Trust me, I know how that works, and it's good for you guys to not put it out there, because you could 100% use that as your marketing, right? You could put a big picture of any of those people up there on any of your socials, and it would draw in more people. I know it. But it's great that you don't use it, because you're just looking to help the player get better.
Well, I think the big part for me is, look, I'm old school like you, right? When we were growing up, there was no social media, there was no internet, there was no cell phones. I didn't have any of this stuff. So, that world for me is kind of a frustrating one, and something we deal with on a day-to-day basis is you can see something posted on social media that doesn't guarantee that it's true, right? I mean, it could paint a different picture, the purpose it's trying to paint.
Social media is a necessary evil, I like to say.
It is, and you know what? We do need to do a better job of it. We do need to do a much better job, because in today's industry, if you're not keeping up or growing in those regards, there are people that are, and they have a platform with social media. So we do need to do a better job of it, but the whole purpose of that was our social media is not to prove who we're training and what we're doing, because the pros that keep coming in, day out, the college kids, the national team players, they know what's happening behind closed doors. They know what's going on, and
Right.
they keep coming back.
Right. All right. Well, you mind if we just kind of jump in and start asking some questions about some of the training and some of the players?
No.
Oh, perfect.
You're
All
the
right.
lead. You're the lead, man.
So obviously, we're a soccer show. Everybody knows I love soccer. Just absolutely love it. So digging in, we don't want to dig in too deep, but I love talking about players and the creativity and what each individual player brings and formations. Like I said, we won't dig in too much, but who's one of the most talented players you've trained or even played with? And it doesn't have to be a big name, because I know a lot of the players that I've played with over the years. I could name several, and people will be like, well, who's that? Well, it's just someone who never made it. But give me a name for someone who's the most talented or creative you've played or trained.
Let's go played with, because on that list, I mean, you've got Kellen, you've got Justin Miram, you've got Steve, you've got Francis Atuahene, you've got DeJuan Jones. They're talented. Like, they're all talented in their own ways. Let's say played with, because trained with, those guys are all just a big talent. Played with, I'm going to name a couple, and I'm going to give you one that I think would have had a huge career.
Okay.
Abe Geiger.
Okay.
Abe Geiger is a guy that I played youth with growing up. Was the captain of our U20 national team when we were in club. Ended up going to Stanford. 20-some years ago, you never even knew what a torn ACL was. We played for years and years, and the amount of time you and I played every day, he was the first person I ever heard of to tear his ACL. 20 years ago, derailed his senior year. Still had a great career, but back then, with the surgery, with the rehab, it just was uncommon. And he was the first one I've ever heard of to tear his ACL.
Yeah, 20. I mean, we're talking, 90s and early 2000s, but even back then, that was career-ending. And we've come a long way since then. Now it's a 6 to 8 month process, and you're back pretty much better than you were before, right? But that's unfortunate, right? So, I mean, that's a great name. We're in about, we'll say 3 or 4 minutes here, I want to jump into a conversation with you, and that's a great lead-in to some of the Detroit soccer legends. I mean, we're going to be able to name a ton here, so let's hold off on that for a few minutes, because that's good.
I got 2 more good ones.
I think between the two of us, we can name so many Detroit soccer legends.
It's a hotbed for talent, dude.
I know.
It's a hotbed.
All right, so I want to kind of finish. I got 2 or 3 quick questions about next level training and just the overall philosophy that you guys have. So do you prefer training the 7, 10, 8, 9, 10-year-olds, or do you prefer the pros? It doesn't bother you. You just love soccer. Give me a little bit of what do you prefer personally and for next level training?
I will tell you this, and I think I speak for my trainers. I will. The number one luxury I have as the owner of Next Level Training is I would put my 4 trainers up against anybody in the country. I know my 4th trainer is trained the right way. He's done hours and hours and hours of shadowing, and I'm comfortable with him training against anybody in the country. And I think all 5 of us will say the same thing is, age to me will never matter in the kid I train if they love training and wanting to get better. Because there's a lot of kids in today's soccer world, with the practices they have, they walk on the field and they'll say, when are we going to scrimmage? When are we going to scrimmage, right? And then there's that one 10-year-old or 11-year-old or 19-year-old or 25-year-old that comes in that you put together a basic pattern of detailed skill work, and they just lock in and they love it. So to me, age, Craig, doesn't really matter. It's, does a kid want to work hard in a drill? Not just, can we show up in scrimmage or kick a ball on goal? Do they want to take the time to love the fundamentals? So if you have a 10-year-old that is passionate about learning, or a pro that is not interested in learning, I'd rather work with the 10-year-old.
Absolutely. So something I'd like to jump into, and this is a big conversation I had with a former Mr. Soccer player a few years ago. American kids, soccer players, we'll say 5-10 years ago, were being trained to pass the ball, to when they encounter a defense, when they encounter a good defender, to pass the ball and work around. I'm seeing a little bit of a transformation here over the last couple of years to get creative players into the U.S. national team, young players. And this is kind of a good lead-in, because I'm seeing a quick update. Christian Pulisic has scored for Chelsea. And we all know Christian Pulisic is one of the bright young stars for the U.S. national team. So he scored for Chelsea there, which kind of brings me back to, he's a very creative player. He's dynamic. He is just a difference maker when it comes to soccer. There's a few of those coming up through the ranks. Is that something you guys focus on? I'll hold off on letting you answer that question, because I want to give a quick example. A couple of years back, I had some coaches, and this is 20 years ago now, who tried to take my creativity and make it more team-oriented and say, when you come up against a defender, don't take them on one-on-one. Stop doing that. I was really discouraged, and as I said, I was talking to a former Mr. Soccer, and he was saying the same thing, and we'll jump into talking about him later. But overall, in the last couple of years, I've seen a big, hey, America has creative soccer players. They have these dynamic players. Is that something you guys focus on? Is that something, because you were a fantastic player and you're creative. I've seen your foot skills. Do you kind of hope to translate to some of the kids that you train?
You know what? I was lucky enough to have a coach that allowed me to play my game and would teach me nuances of when and where to do those things.
Sure.
To whereas I think the biggest miscommunication between kids and coaches is not the lack of creativity, but the timing for creativity.
Sure.
Because I watch a lot of games here for our youth. I go and watch a ton of our kids play. And your comment that you just said is way more common than uncommon, to where kids feel like I'm being told system. Play the
Right.
way you face. Play simple. Play 1 and 2 touch. Play quick. And you take the creativity out of a creative player. And I will tell you myself, if I was forced to play 1 and 2 touch and play quick, I wouldn't have the love and passion for the game that I do.
Exactly.
And that's
exactly.
you get
Yep.
the most out of a player that is allowed to play the way they love the game, as long as it's not overdoing it, overcomplicating.
Agreed. Absolutely agreed. Obviously, a smart player will use that creativity and use that dynamic skill that they have, or skills that they have in the right position in a game, in the right timing. It's funny. I came across a question yesterday on Twitter that someone asked. They said, "How do you make practice fun, but also make sure that the kids are understanding or get them to be creative? Are there certain drills that you guys do?" Because I remember, I mean, I personally right off the bat answered, I loved one-on-ones in practice, one-on-one. And then another little piece I had a coach do was, hey, you guys, I've told you to watch soccer. You've watched some of the top professionals. Go ahead and let's, for 10 minutes, let's do one-on-ones and two-on-twos and try to emulate some of those moves. And in practice, yeah, sure, I'll try to emulate Messi and Ronaldo, and if I fall on my face or over the ball, it's in practice. No one cares. Is there little drills you guys put into play to keep it fun for the kids?
Well, let's dive deeper into your why did you love 1v1s? This is a very simple answer. Why did you love 1v1s?
I personally love 1v1s because I get to embarrass a defender and go around them and
Because
score
you were
goals.
successful at it.
And I was a little successful at it. I had some success.
So kids are no different. They like things that they are good at. So break down a national team player for me. I have a national team player, one that is specific in my head, and I'm talking not Kellen Acosta, a full U.S. national team player, who is very, very, very talented in distribution, in half turns, open and playing.
Sure.
And they struggle big time in tight ball work, ball comfort, balance, body control situations. So when I do those situations with this player, they don't enjoy it. Just like me going to play golf. I don't enjoy golf because I'm not good at it, because I'm a competitor.
Right.
And I expect to be good. So when
Sure.
I'm not good at something, it's not fun. Soccer's no different. A drill for a kid, it's just like playing the game. People ask you, why do you like playing soccer so much? And it's not an arrogant thing. I like playing soccer so much because I'm good at it, because it builds my confidence. It
Sure.
makes me feel good. It's fun, right? So a drill for a kid, you've got to find things that they're good at, and you got to find ways to make them better at things, because they will enjoy them the more they are succeeding,
Right.
successful.
I love that answer. Absolutely love that answer. Hey,
You
Adam.
never got to go 1v1 against me, did you? I don't know if that.
Let's move on to the next topic. Yeah, definitely moving on to the next topic. Adam, can you do us a favor and can you play the clip of the bicycle? And I'll let Aaron kind of walk through this clip if we could pull that up. What's happening here, Aaron?
Well, I got a great story about this. So this is at our Washington camp 2 years ago.
Wow, what form?
Wow. So that the guy passing me the ball, that's Scotty Wright, one of my trainers. So while the camp was going on, so this right here is Dana Castellanos, starting striker for Atletico Madrid, fantastic player, fantastic human being. About 3 minutes earlier, there was a dad sitting in the bleachers. Camp was going on. I said to her, and it was only me, Scotty, and her. There was no kids there like you just saw in that video.
Right.
And I said, finish this. So Scotty laid it. I crossed it.
Yeah.
She biked it, Craig. It went upper 88, top side netting.
Wow.
And there was the dad sitting in the bleachers that goes, That was the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. And I had no idea she was going to bike it. So that video you just saw was us trying to emulate what happened the first time. I mean, it was the first ball. He laid it off. I served it. She biked it upper 90 first time. That right there was probably the 5th take after it, trying to just get me to serve a ball that she could bike in front of the camp, because we watched it and Scotty and I looked at each other. We were like, that was unbelievable.
Yeah. She's got great form. She does everything right. Watch her footwork here. She's getting prepared. She's on her toes. She's ready. Little hop. Love the little hop, man. That little hop. I tell people about that. As soon as the ball is when it's coming, that little hop, and you're on your toes and you're ready.
Go look her up. She is in 2017. She won, or she finished 3rd in the voting for FIFA Player of the Year, behind Carly Lloyd and Leica Martens. She finished 3rd in the world, and she caught a lot of grief from it because she was still in college.
Sure.
But she's Venezuelan. She's a great human. Go look her up at Atletico Madrid. She's scoring goal after goal after goal. She's
Dina Castellanos, right?
Dina Castellanos.
All right, lovely. I want to watch some more clips because she looks like a solid player.
She scores goals. She scores goals.
Hey Adam, can you do us a favor? Can you play the clip that we have of Aaron and I yesterday?
Oh.
So Aaron and I went out and we filmed a good little 3 or 4 minute segment here to help you guys become better soccer players. And then when we come back from that clip, Aaron's going to give you another tip or trick. So Aaron, I'll just set it up real quick. It's footwork. It's all about footwork, and it's all about being prepared. And this little 5 to 10 minute drill that you're going to see you do here, we filmed, this helps players get better, right? This is if players do this on a daily basis, it gets a little sweat going, right? I mean, this is what people should be doing if you want to get better at soccer.
When your resources are limited, you get home from school, you don't have a brother, you don't have a buddy, you're at home. What can you do when you're by yourself? What are things, the best players in the world, let's be honest, aren't going to practice 4 days a week and going home. They're doing more than everybody else on their team. So whether it's 10 minutes here, 10 minutes here, 15 minutes here, 5 minutes here, this is just a very basic, fundamental. It helps with your balance, your ball comfort, your body control, your awareness, everything. And it's, 10 minutes?
Yeah,
There's 5 exercises, 10 minutes of work total.
And that's the difference I see a lot of the time these days. I mean, even when you and I were growing up, we had good players who we played with, and they went home and they did whatever. But you knew the players who really wanted to get better. And that actually happened in one of that practice I was out at a couple weeks ago. There was 1 or 2 players specifically who stayed behind. They'd worked their butts off for 2 minutes, and they stayed behind doing like a little drill like this and some shooting drills. All right, Adam, whenever you're ready, let's go ahead and play that, my friend. I got Aaron Byrd from Next Level Training here. All right, Aaron, tell us about Next Level Training, what you do and what you guys special in and how you've grown over the years.
We are a technical training company for soccer players of all ages. I started this about 13 years ago. I had about 2-3 kids that we were working with, doing a lot of skill development with them. Fast forward 13 years later, we've had over 600 national team Olympians, World Cup, MLS, college athletes come through our program. We have 3 players playing over in Champions League right now. Just a program that we've really focused on teaching things the right way, teaching the game with the right body positioning, body shape, balance, body control, and focusing on making sure the kids find the passion in the game. They love it, from the 7-year-olds all the way up to our pros. Instilling values in them about hard work, passion, dedication, and the kids love it. It's become a
I think that's great. I was in here last week kind of watching one of your sessions and you had I think 6 professional players in here. One of them may or may not have been in the national team at one point. We won't name names at this point, but the level of technicality you were showing to someone who's played on the U.S. men's national team, it was crazy for me to watch. That is awesome, and he was taking your knowledge and putting it into play. And one of the things I really loved
so
that
was
you
an
guys
interview
did
that Aaron and I
was last week, and I think right now we're going to jump into the training tips, if we could, Adam. So Aaron and I were out yesterday, as we said. Welcome to We Are Soccer. I'm Craig Hearn, and I'm here with Aaron Byrd of Next Level Training. Today, Aaron's going to show you some tips to get better at soccer. These are things you can do every day for just a few minutes to get better. These are for adults and for youth. And remember, kids, even the pros do these things, right? Every day for a couple minutes with the ball, professional soccers did this and still do it. All right, Aaron, let's jump in. What are we going to see today?
Just a basic little setup, guys. About a yard and a half. A little over a yard apart. Don't need a lot of space, 2 cones and a ball. Very basic. Depending on your skill level will determine the speed you go at, right? Just touch the ball to the best of your ability. We've got 5 different exercises, twice through at each of them. So the first one, just a very basic, ball's gonna be here, feet are active. I'm just gonna roll right to my left, try to cover ground, get all the way across, rolling back and forth with my right to left, left to right. Eyes stay high, base stays nice and wide, feet stay active with that ball. So that's exercise 1. Exercise 2, all I'm gonna do using this cone here, I'm gonna go roll, touch through the middle, roll, bring it back. Roll, touch through, roll, bring back, roll, touch, roll, bring back, roll, touch, roll, back. Very challenging with that one, a lot of balance, a lot of coordination. Eyes still stay high, get your feet to move and be active. That's exercise 2. Second set of that one, you're gonna use the other cone, meaning when I roll first, I'm rolling left to right, right at the top, bring back, left to right, right, left. That's exercise 2. Exercise 3, all right foot, all right foot. I'm gonna take 1 roll, turn my hips, and cut with my right, rebalance, push back, and stop with my right. Right, 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 right. Hips, shoulders, body activate, so not. Okay, be an athlete, be dynamic, turn, cut, push, grab, head stays high, turn, cut, push, grab. Exercise 3 is right foot, exercise 4 is left foot. From the other side, roll, cut, push, grab. Roll, cut, push, grab. Exercise 5, my favorite one. From outside, roll, touch through, roll again, bring back. Roll through, roll, bring back. Roll, touch, roll, back. Roll, touch.
So that's almost like a figure 8, right?
Almost like a figure 8.
All right.
Body stays engaged, head stays high. Second round of that, you're gonna start on the left side. So guys, as you can see, I am semi-breathing heavy right now. Those 5 exercises, Craig, 40 seconds on, 20 seconds off.
All right.
10 minutes.
I say
That's 5 exercises, 10 minutes.
10 minutes, and you do that every day for a week or 2, you're going to have better foot speed, you're going to have better control, and it's just going to help your overall
The touch, the balance, the confidence with the ball. You do that 10 minutes,
Yep.
and you see your speed start to increase. You're probably touching the ball 700-800 times in 10 minutes.
And I want to reaffirm, that's something the professionals do every day, right?
What the difference in a drill and a professional and a youth should not be the drill. It should be the purpose, the speed behind it, right? If I'm a beginner trying to do this, I'm going to start getting my base. I'm going to start working on getting my eyes up a little bit. Maybe I start here, and I'm watching it.
Yep.
And then as I get more comfortable, my eyes come up, and as I'm doing that, trying to find the ball, my eyes are moving a little bit.
Yep.
A pro, same concept, just go faster,
Yep.
with more of a purpose, eyes travel. So the drill shouldn't change. You're right, a kid to a pro should focus on doing it the right way, doing it fast, getting the touches, the basics.
Love it, absolutely love it. All right, kids, that's how you become a pro. That's how you become better, by doing these drills every single day. All right, really appreciate it, Aaron. Thanks, and we'll be doing more of these, probably every week, where we're showing you more tips on how to get better, be better. I love that you said be an athlete. That's what it's about.
Be dynamic, be an athlete.
Love it.
Enjoy, guys. Work hard, have fun. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, guys. All right, so as you can see, just some quick tips, tricks there to get you going. That'll improve your footwork, improve the muscle, build up the muscles in your ankles and your legs, just doing that 5-10 minutes a day, right? Easy things to do. Aaron, do you have anything else that young players can do at home for a few minutes a day along with those drills?
Fall in love with the ball. Fall in love with the ball. U.S. Mama Bird, and there was probably about. My mom was into arts, and I probably broke about 50 of her potteries and her vases and all that. So luckily and happy birthday to my lovely mama.
Happy birthday.
Today's her birthday. So just falling in love with the ball. I mean, when I was on the phone, I had a little, right over our fireplace, we had a brick fireplace, and I was just passing the ball off it. And
Sure.
There was a couch on the right, and I'd open and pass off the couch and back off that. And, when there's stuff on the floor, you're dribbling around, imagining those are defenders, scissor here, roll it across one, just...
Yep.
You just got to fall in love with the ball. And the number one thing, and actually this is a great point that I want to touch on, because I got a call from a youth national team coach, somebody that has coached in our youth World Cups.
Mm-hmm.
And he said to me, the problem he's seeing with a lot of players that do extra training is when they come back into their team setting, when they're trained to move, pass, trap, dribble improperly, it affects their game. He said, we have players that do extra training around here that come back and are actually performing at a lower level than the ones that are not doing extra training because they're not being trained improper. And he had mentioned that we are one of very, very few in the country that he recommends sending his players to, which to me was the biggest compliment I can get, because I spend so much time studying on body mechanics and what's proper training, how to move, because at the end of the day, it's everything when it comes to your performance. So, if you're going to do extra stuff out in the backyard, people are like, I went out and shot 1,000 soccer balls this week. And I'm like, okay, well, did you shoot 1,000 properly?
Right.
Because proper training is going to lead to proper results. So, to me, it's fall in love with the ball and fall in love with learning the right way, doing things proper, doing them right, and good things will happen, man.
Absolutely. All right, we're gonna play a fun little game I like to play with the guests here called Fact or Fiction.
Ooh.
All right, so I'm just gonna ask you 3 or 4 questions, and you answer with fact or fiction.
What if I don't remember?
Well, make it up then. I don't
deal.
know. All right, so fact or fiction? You were a 4-year starter and 3-year captain at the University of Detroit Mercy.
Fact.
That's incredible, by the way. 4-year starter, D1 school, and 3 years as captain. Leadership, that's quality right there, my friend. Fact or fiction? There is a fountain of youth at your house that you drink from daily, because I've seen you play soccer, and I know how old you are now. You're not that old, but you're not spry like when you were 20. But man, you look like it on the soccer field. Fountain of youth at your house, fact or fiction?
Not at my house, but I think there might be at Starbucks.
They're not a sponsor, so
they're not.
no. But if you're interested, Starbucks, there may be some available. Yeah, exactly. Fact or fiction? You had a professional career with the Windsor Border Stars and Waza Flow Pro.
Fact.
All right. I've seen some of the clips. I wasn't able to make it out to a lot of those games, but I've seen some of the clips. Man, just a stud on the field, an absolute stud on the field, which leads us into other Metro Detroit soccer legends. Now, you and I have been in the soccer community in Metro Detroit for 20, 30 years or more. Some of the names of the players that you and I have played against, played with, come across. I was going through and putting a list together this week. It's stunning the amount of players that have come out of the state of Michigan. it's incredible. I'm just going to start by naming a few on my list here, and then I'm sure you'll be able to jump in real quick. Some of the players who I have watched over the years and actually look up to, right? Travis Roy, former Mr. Soccer. Ryan Mack, former Mr. Soccer. Anders Kelto, former Mr. Soccer and U.S. Youth team player. Corey Wilfork, Mitch Hildebrandt, Alexi Lawless, Jeff Kassar, Adam Bedell, Justin Merrim, Ali Curtis. I mean, the list goes on. I've got another 20 or 30 here. Off the top of your head, who are some of the players who you enjoyed playing with, the kind of will hold that Metro Detroit soccer legend status, do you think?
You know, obviously the group you named, a lot of those guys were guys I grew up watching. You know, the Corey Wolfolks, the Ali Curtis, the Brian Mazonovs, Scott Babinski, Jason Babinski, those guys you grew up watching, that you were just like, man, these guys are so talented. Eric Nelson.
Oh, man.
Just super talented players that you're like, man, I want to be like these guys. I want to perform like that. And guys, so let me do guys that I played with.
Yep. I'm
going to name about 5, and then I'll do guys that I played with in the pro that I was like, man, these guys are local and super talented as well. So, guys from my club team that I thought were just a step above were Alan Lascawa.
Oh, man. Former Novi and Notre Dame player, Lascawa.
Alan Lascawa was one of the most calm, smart, intelligent soccer players. Stu Yinkst.
Oh, good player.
Went to Yale. Super talented player as well. Marcus Shorvat.
Okay.
Ended up playing at Indiana with Ryan Mack.
Yep.
George Kithis.
Yep. Solid, tall center forward player.
Just a goal scorer. Just an absolute goal scorer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Intelligent, very fiery. He's a hot one. And I'll tell you, George and I have played together for, I can't even tell you how many years it's been. Him and I mean, road trips together, roommates in college, everything. And we played this past summer before COVID and against each other, and he got into me. I mean, it doesn't matter your friendship, anything. He got into me so bad.
On the field, man, friendship's out the window, right?
Oh, with him it was out the window.
I mean, we might be close to 40.
28.
Yeah, I mean, we're late 20s, early 30s at the most. But when you and I step on the field, along with some of these players we're naming, there's passion and fire. And I'm not going out there for a good time to kick a ball around or to get in shape. I'm going to win, right? And that's the difference between a lot of the players these days compared to a lot of the players that we're naming. It's stepping on the field to win, right? One of the names...
Scotty Wright.
Oh, Scotty Wright.
Scotty Wright, man.
Oh, I hated playing against Scotty Wright. So quick, so good. And one of your trainers, right?
One of my trainers.
Oh, man, he is...
We only bring on the best, dude. We only bring on the best. And
he was probably one of the best defenders I faced in high school. Oh, God, I hated playing against him. So good.
I'm going to throw some names at you that I don't see on that list that I think that one of the most underrated soccer players I've ever played with. He does every job well, offensively, defensively, leads, wins balls. Doug Rice.
Oh, all right. There you go. I like that.
Unbelievable player. I love playing with him. He's him and I in our men's open right now. Him and I play in the middle together, and he makes my job so easy. Another player that's not on that list, again, kind of like a George Hothead, but he is an absolute game changer. He is a stud of a player, Nicky Jokai.
Oh, yeah, Nicky Jokai. I just played with Nicky a couple of weeks back. Shout out to Nicky, man. Yeah,
super,
for sure.
super. One of the best I've ever played with.
Oh, so good.
You got one on there, Mickey.
Yeah. Oh, Mickey. Oh, man.
Smooth.
I play with Mickey now. He's on my men's team. Oh, I play up top. He plays behind me. He just the balls he can thread through.
He's so smooth.
And I will get fouled around the box specifically just to let him have a free kick because it's on goal and he is very good, so smooth. I want to name 3 or 4 others real quick here. Tommy Eller.
Oh.
I mean, he has to be one of the best soccer players Metro Detroit has seen in the last 20 years.
Everything, dude.
So he Solid player.
Ask George Kithis about playing against Tommy Ellen.
Oh no. I don't. But so Tommy and I, when we played against each other quite a few years ago, I mean, we're going back quite a few years. We weren't the best of friends. Just fiery on the pitch, passionate, right? Like going at each other's throats. And we didn't know each other off the field too well, but in the last couple of years, we've gotten to know each other off the field a little bit and become friendly. He's a super nice dude, man.
He's a great dude.
Oh,
he's
so
a great
good.
dude. I played on the pro indoor with him for a couple of years, and he's just a great teammate, great dude.
Some of the dudes from we'll call it not a D1 school, but like Sammy Pirani and Scott Emmert.
Studs,
just
both of them.
Oh my gosh.
Both of them are studs. But you know what? To me, that's an issue. Like, so many people want to give credibility based on where you went to school.
Agreed.
School to me means not. I'll play against anybody from anywhere, and I'll take Sammy Pirani and Scott Emmert on my team because I've seen them play and I know how talented they are.
Yep.
So, like, to me, college should more be about the experience and, like, are you in a situation to grow, enjoy your experience, play, and do that? Because to me, so many people used to say to me, "Oh, you went to UD? I thought you went D1. Why didn't you go?" Like, look, I went to school. I have some of the greatest friends and relationships. I met my wife at school there. I played all 4 years. I was a 3-year captain. I was an all-conference player. Like, the experience for me was great. If I'd have gone to somewhere else, maybe I don't play, right? Maybe I'm not as happy. So pick a school based on somewhere, because guys like Sammy Pirani and Scott Emmert, both on that, are incredible soccer
players. We kind of need to wrap this up because we got a lot of other stuff to get to for you guys, but I don't want to miss some of the names, right? We've got, like, I played at State with Steve Arce, Brett Conley, Mike Robinson. Shout out to the goalkeepers. Nick DeGraw, just solid player in the middle, Nick DeGraw, right? And then you got the Tommaso brothers, both goalies. Oh, my word, so good. And then someone who came a little bit before you and I believe, Goose, Brian Finnerty.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
His son's right now.
Yeah.
His son's the goalie at U of M.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I need to pay a little bit more attention to that. And then someone who came a few years after us, but we've all seen Suni Saad.
Suni, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, the state of Michigan has just produced player after player after player. Brian Masonoff, I think, is probably one of the most accomplished players to come out of the state of Michigan, right?
For sure.
Absolutely. But then you've got players like Justin Merrim, who's in the MLS and is still having a hell of a career coming out of the state of Michigan.
Well, I mean, the guy's been, no matter whether you like him, hate him, and it's funny, if you ever hear his story, there's a podcast we did with him for over quarantine. His story is incredible. 0 D1 offers. 0 D1 college offers. Went to a little school in Arizona only because he was in the park. He moved there to go to dental school, was living with his brother, was playing pickup in the park, and some guy at the Yava Tapi that used to play there saw him and called the coach and said, "You got to get this guy in." 2-time All-American, at the Player of the Year, JUCO Player of the Year, and now all of a sudden he's good enough for the Michigans, the Indianas, and then he goes on. He's 10 years in the MLS. Hate him or love him, the guy's had a 10-year MLS career plus, and he's still rocking out.
And he's still playing well. All right. Well, we could go on all day because, I mean, the stories, right? So, man,
let's not forget Craig Hearn.
Oh, no way. No way do I belong in a list with those guys and yourself. But what we're going to do now is we're going to announce the winner of last week's DCFC giveaway. You had to answer the question of which college did David Dwayhe attend. He attended Kalamazoo College, and the correct answer who shared our Facebook post was Emily Marie. So thank you very much. Appreciate it. We'll get you your DCFC prize pack giveaway. This week's prize pack giveaway, we've got 2 tickets to an upcoming DCFC game and a scarf. The question you have to answer is, in the comments of our Facebook page, go ahead and name a Detroit soccer legend. 1 or 2 answers may get you some extra points. Aaron. Go ahead in the comments, name a Detroit soccer legend. If you want to tag them, extra points as well. All right, and we'll announce that winner next week. Speaking of DCFC, Adam, do we have that clip of that came across my Twitter feed the other day? Go ahead and show that if you could. This is what it's like playing at DCFC. If that isn't nuts, I don't know what is. That is awesome. I mean, the smoke, and there's chanting, and there's fire. It's crazy.
The passion is just incredible.
It is
incredible.
awesome. I'll call them ultras on that side over there. The Northern Guard, the fan base. It's crazy. It's so fun to watch. That video was taken from the family side, where it's a little bit more relaxed and family oriented. That far side, the ultras, the Northern Guard, it's nuts and it's fun to watch. Being a part of it, I've done it once or twice. It's a good time. They get tuned up.
It's
yeah,
it's a passionate crowd. You can't.
Yeah.
You can't. That's awesome. Can't fight them.
Agreed. So the local pro soccer segment there is brought to you by Detroit City FC. Their upcoming season kicks off soon. I believe tickets will be available very soon if you're not an owner. So I think it's Monday or Tuesday. Season tickets open up to the public. So keep your eyes out. I will, on the Facebook and Twitter account of We Are Soccer, retweet and share that information as it comes across. Next, we'll jump into the World Soccer segment brought to you by Tim Merritt and Ross Mortgage. If you're looking to refinance or looking for a new mortgage, call Tim at Ross Mortgage. Tell him Craig sent you, and then ask Tim about his goalkeeping career. Let me just tell you, stellar. Absolutely stellar. He was always man of the match every single game, without doubt. I'm not sure how that happens.
Even in a loss, right?
Even in a loss, absolutely. As a goalie, it's crazy. All right, so this weekend, we've got some pretty good games coming up for you guys to watch. One game I'm specifically looking forward to happens later today. I believe it's 12:30.
Yes.
Bayern Munich versus RB Leipzig. Bayern Munich, number 1 in the table. RB Leipzig, number 2 in the table. 4 points separate these two sides. Robert Lewandowski is injured. He's out for 4 weeks. That's going to, I think if RB Leipzig win today, they go within 1 point of Bayern Munich, and I think they go on to win the title. I think Bayern Munich falter if they lose today.
No.
No? Oh, I love it.
Bayern is.
They're a juggernaut.
Listen. My head trainer Renato is a
great player and great dude.
He should be on that list.
Agreed.
He's one of the best I ever played with.
Yep.
His meniscus. Ask him about his meniscus. He'll tell you about how it altered his career. But he was one of the best. But he's one of my head trainers. He is a diehard Bayern fan to where he could tell you the shoe size of their third-string goalie. And he's just got me so enamored with watching them that they're so deep.
They're so fun to watch.
So deep.
They were my choice to win the Champions League, but without Robert Lewandowski, it's going to be tough. I think it alters the formation of the team and the way they play.
You're arguably using the number 1 striker in the world right now. Right? But you still got Gnabry, you've got Sané, you've got
Mueller,
you've got Kimmich, you've got so many players. The guys that are coming off the bench would start at 99% of the European clubs right now.
I will agree with you. That's going to be a fun game. So 12:30 today. I'm going to be online on the We Are Soccer Facebook group and page and commenting because I'm going to watch that game. By saying that, I'm also giving notice to my wife that I'm watching that game. I'm watching that game. Take the kids.
12:30 to 2. I'm booked.
Yeah, take the kids away because I'm watching that game. That's going to be a fun one. Again, and also later today we have Leicester City and Man City. This is going to be a good game because, sure, Man City have pretty much got the Premiership wrapped up. But Leicester City, they're still fighting to see how high they can get. I think they're in 3rd at the moment. They're a good squad. Do not put it past Leicester City to come out and get a win here. They are a good squad. Vardy up top, still got his pace. Iheanacho's come about in scoring. He's got 5 goals in the last,
Player of the month,
Player of the Month recently. That's also going to be a fun game. It might be on at the same time. So if you got 2 TVs, see what you can do. Another fun one this weekend, Arsenal versus Liverpool. Arsenal have been up and down this season, and we know Liverpool have dropped quite a bit. If Arsenal get a win here, I think it's doom and gloom, and here come the newspapers and the pundits talking about Liverpool. So Liverpool fans, get ready for that.
Best of luck.
Yeah, exactly.
Best of luck today.
Exactly. So anyway, some good games to look forward to. As I said, I'll be on the We Are Soccer Facebook page and all the other social accounts talking about that. All right, let's jump in here. I want to talk about some local youth soccer, some kind of news this week that's come out, and this segment's brought to you by the Michigan Jaguars FC. Michigan Jaguars, fun, friendly environment, a club of players for players at every age and every level. I have a bunch of friends there who coach and actually play at the higher levels. Good dudes, good club. I know a lot of those players come and see you. And
I will say, and I say this with a lot of confidence because we deal with it. They've got to have one of the top staffs around. The coaches over there are just
the coaches are so
they're
good.
they're solid. They're solid groups. They're leadership from the top down. We have a lot of talented Jags players that come through our program, and you can just tell that they're coached properly.
Agreed. Yep. I can't argue with that.
You'd be dumb to.
Exactly. Well, I know. I like to think I know a little bit about soccer, and sure, I know a lot of those coaches. As I've played with them, they're friends. Yeah, solid, man, solid. Yeah. And I know that they like, and they have nothing against their players going for extra training to see Aaron and next level training because they know you, they know the level you've played at, and they know the level you train at. So
this may be a not friendly comment, but any coach that does not want their kid doing extra work that doesn't take away from their practice, doesn't take away from anything club related, in my mind doesn't have the best interest of their player. Because if 100%. I have a player that wants to do more and get better and can go to somebody that's worked with over 600 of the highest level pros in the area,
right,
I would want my player getting that because they come back to me better.
Right. Absolutely.
So anybody that doesn't, I'd have
an issue too. I would have an issue as well. This is kind of some good news coming out of the state of Michigan for some young players here. Congrats goes out to Emily Cloden and Amelia Villarreal, who are selected to attend the U.S. Soccer U16 Girls National Team virtual meetings. Virtual meetings because it's COVID, right? And the pandemic we're still in. We're hopefully coming out of. But that's great news. We've got two U16 girls who are going to be attending U.S. Soccer virtual meetings. And if it wasn't virtual meetings, they'd be in the camp training with them. Both those girls play for the Jags.
And train with?
Maybe the guy sitting next to me, they train with Aaron?
Both of them are super, super talented players.
I did not know they trained with you, I'll be honest.
Both of them. Michigan had 6 players called into that U16 camp. Michigan had 6 players called in. 5 of them are with us, and the one's a goalie. And we obviously don't work with goalies right now. So 5 of the 6 in the U16 camp, and there's one internationals player that drives in from Cleveland weekly to train with us. So we have 6 players in that camp.
All right. Well, I'll be very honest. That was not done intentionally. I just picked up on that story about those 2 Jags players getting called in. So, yeah, I did not know that they trained with you. That's great.
Great kids.
Yeah.
Fantastic kids.
I want to see if I can follow them and the others 4 who were called in as well because great players. I know I'd be amiss if I didn't go ahead and say that one of the players we mentioned earlier, who's a Detroit soccer legend, Travis Roy, Mr. Soccer 1993, I want to say,
somewhere in there.
A few years ago. Good friend of mine. I should probably know when he was got Mr. Soccer. He'll tell you. Yeah, I'm sure I'll hear from him in a text soon. His daughter,
a stud,
is probably one of the best players in the state at her age, right? I mean,
even a year up.
A year up.
She's playing a year or 2 up.
I've seen clips of Morgan Roy play, and oh my word, if if there was somewhere I could bet right now that she's going to be on the U.S. national team soon, within the next couple of years, I would put money on it because I've seen her play. She is phenomenal. She has the passion and desire to be a winner, and trust me, so does her dad. So that's where she gets it from.
Her dad does.
Yeah, it's unfortunate Travis's career came to an end a couple of years ago because he was just getting bullied. I don't want to say bullied on the field, but people were just hacking him. And, he's got a day job. And plus now he just trains his daughter. He trains his kids to soccer. And anyway, good dude. Keep your eyes out for Morgan Roy. She's going to be a good one. Yep. Just something real quick here. I picked up off the Michigan Jaguars have announced that they'll be teaming up with Uptime United to roll out its first ever esports program. This is interesting to me. I need to look into this a bit more, as I'm not much of a gamer, I'll be honest. Maybe if I became a gamer, do you think I'd get some college eligibility back? Do you think we could? No?
Well, if it's a sport, college sport, you could be a gamer.
It's becoming a sport now? I don't know. Does anybody know anything about this? Because I don't. I'll be honest. I need to look into it a little bit more. Like I said, it's interesting to me that a lot of colleges and a lot of pro teams are having gamers as their. You know what? Good for them. I think that's awesome. I'm not a gamer though.
I'm not either.
No, it's just something I don't do very much. All right. News and Notes, which is sponsored by my friends at Superior Family Dental. Superior Family Dental, the official team dentist, the official dentist of the Red Wings. If it's good enough for the Red Wings, it's good enough for me, and it is, because I take my kids to see Dr. Jeff and Dr. Randy. I love their staff, by the way. You guys, Superior Family Dental, you guys have the friendliest staff. They're so nice. It's weird. My kids like going to the dentist. I love you guys, but I still don't like
going to the dentist.
Yeah, he's not a fan of that. It's just me, though. All right, so news and notes to kind of end the show here. Erling Haaland is rumored to be talking to Barcelona. He's doing a tour, I believe. I believe he went to Barcelona, Real Madrid, and in the next day or two he's in England. Man United, Man City, and Chelsea, I believe, are on the docket for him to visit.
He goes to Man United. They win the league next year.
I agree. Man City have already come out and said they can't afford him. I think that's Pep Guardiola.
They lose
Aguero. I think that's just Pep Guardiola.
Yeah.
Just pushing things off. And Barcelona, the first team they went to visit, they apparently have no money either. So I'm not sure how they're going to afford him. But it's funny how
he goes to Man U, they win the league next year. You heard it here first.
I think the best thing for him would be to stay where he's at, Borussia Dortmund, and continue to grow with Gio Reyna, Jadon Sancho. I think that those three just unbelievable young stars. I would love to see them grow, but we all know Borussia Dortmund brings in these young players, builds them up, and then sells them to make a profit.
Money.
It's a business. It's a business. Yeah, it's money. Speaking of Sergio Aguero, he's leaving Man City at the end of the season. And Man City are reportedly having a statue made in his honor. Is Sergio Aguero deserving of a statue outside of the Etihad Stadium? I don't think so. I don't think so either. But then I thought about it. Best goal scorer they've ever had was pretty much the reason I don't want to say pretty much the reason, but one of the big reasons they won the league several times. Been there 10 years. They're reportedly having a statue for Aguero, Vincent Kompany, and David Villa. I don't know. It's the word legend.
But then do you make one now when De Bruyne leaves? I mean, you got to where does the statue?
Where does it end,
yeah.
Right? Now you're going to have, 15 statues around from pretty much the same era. You're right. All right, so debate in the Facebook group for We Are Soccer.
Yeah,
we have a little bit of a debate going there. Put your thoughts in there. This is kind of some disturbing news.
Yeah.
Juventus' young star Weston McKennie faces a fine, and I believe he's already been suspended by Juve as he hosted a party at his house, breaking COVID rules in Italy. Not good from the promising youngster. Reportedly, 20 people were in attendance. Young players make mistakes, right? He's young. He made a mistake, but you got to be smarter, right? You got to be smart, kid. I hope he kind of. It's not a huge mistake, but it's a mistake, especially when people are coming back from international break on Juve, and they've tested positive. So,
look, everyone makes mistakes, but if I host a party at my house with 10, 12 people, I'm pretty confident ESPN's not looking at my door, looking at me, right? I mean, you're arguably the number 1 or 2 American soccer player in the limelight right now.
Right.
You got to be a little more intelligent.
Yep. You got to be a little bit smarter.
You just got to be smarter.
Yeah. More big news this week. This one coming out of Spain. Real Madrid star defender Sergio Ramos has an injury and will prevent him from playing in the Champions League game against Liverpool. He might be 36 years old, but he's the heart and soul of that Real Madrid team, in my opinion. This is going to be a big miss for them. Your thoughts on Liverpool Liverpool and Real Madrid. Who comes out winning that?
Real Madrid.
All right. Just because Liverpool
Liverpool's on a decline.
Yep.
They're
I agree.
struggling.
All right. Well, last news, a note here. This is a funny little story. Spain coach Luis Enrique missed the opening minutes of the World Cup qualifier against Kosovo after being trapped in an elevator. I don't know. That's one of the funniest things I've seen on the internet.
Take the stairs.
Yeah.
Take the stairs.
Take the stairs.
Oh, it's
healthy.
a workout too.
It's healthier. It's a workout.
Listen, I sprint the stairs any chance I get.
All right. Well, guys, I think we're going to we have to wrap it up. We could go on for days, I think, talking about some of these news and notes and the soccer legends. We could do an entire week of soccer legends coming out of Metro Detroit. But unfortunately, we're kind of out of time here. So thank you again for joining We Are Soccer. Really appreciate it. Thank you to our sponsors, Michigan Jaguars, DCFC, Superior Family Dental, Ross Mortgage, and Next Level Training, who are coming on board. Thank you to my friend Aaron Byrd from Next Level Training. Really appreciate you being here and the discussion we've had today.
Thanks so much for having me out, man. I appreciate it. And any kid that wants to check us out, I think you'd find our
You'll find all your socials on the We Are Soccer stuff and a link to your website and how to get a hold of Aaron.
And I think they'd find all four of the trainers, whoever they have, whichever it's me or one of the four, the kids would absolutely love and be blown away by their knowledge and perfectionism on the field.
100% agree. Thank you to Woodward Sports and behind the scenes Adam, our producer. And with that, I say thank you and cheers.